Hey friends, today we're going to make some herbal teas. So you can see I've kind of got a lot of stuff out. I don't know if you can see it because I'm having problems with my stand today. Anyway, so obviously prices have gone up for a lot of things, tea being no exception. And so this winter I decided I was going to kind of try to condense all of the medicinal plants I have either wildcrafted from my own backyard or have purchased from reputable vendors. And so I'm trying to like condense what I have, see what I have, so I don't keep buying duplicates, because I kind of have it in different places. Like I have my whole walk-in closet filled up with most of the things I've wildcrafted from the yard, and then I have Tupperware totes in the kitchen that I have the bags that they're shipped in and packaged in, because it keeps them fresher than if I open them up and put them in a mason jar. So today we're gonna make, because I ran out of my throat coat blend, and rather than buy it, I was like, I have most of the ingredients, I'm just gonna use them and make my own and see how it comes out, how it tastes. So we're gonna make a GI blend and we're gonna make a throat coat blend. I have a coffee grinder at the ready to grind some of the ingredients up, because you don't want to be like swallowing a whole cardamom pod, right? So I'm gonna grind them up. I have some fennel, the last of the fennel that I harvested from the garden. It's not a lot, maybe it's about a tablespoon. So between the throat and the GI formula, I'm gonna use that up. I've got, so you know, winter's the citrus season, so I've got, what was this? It was clementines, organic clementines that I used the peel, I dehydrated it. And so they're a lot thinner than a normal citrus. A normal citrus has a thicker rind, but the clementine, I'll show you, is really thin. I don't know if you can tell, but it's much thinner than a normal citrus peel. So the citrus peels I use in my tinctures, I use the thicker citrus peels, or like if I make an oxymel, but for the tea, I'm gonna use the thinner one. So that's why I saved it. So for the throat coat blend, we're going to use, I've got some ginger root here, organic. So I buy from Frontier, Star West Botanicals, and Mountain Rose Herbs is basically who I buy from if I can't get it myself. But you know, I wildcrafted the orange, I wildcrafted the mullein, I wildcrafted the catmint, the lemon balm, marshmallow, what else? Fennel. I think that's it. Mint, I could have wildcrafted, but I think I bought this because I didn't have enough mint. So, because it spreads, so I keep it in a small container, and if you don't harvest it a lot, it doesn't, you know, it doesn't grow a lot. So it will take over if I put it in a big bed. So I keep it in a small pot so that it doesn't grow a lot, so it doesn't take everything over, because it can be a bully in the garden. So for the throat coat formula, we're going to use the orange peel. We've got the cardamom, which is very expensive, so I only buy it in small amounts because I don't use it that often. We've got our fennel seed, black pepper. We've got our mullein, so we've got black pepper. Again, and I'm using everything whole, right? And I'm going to grind it fresh so that it will last longer. I've got marshmallow root. I've got some cinnamon chips. And oh, licorice root. And this I made a tincture out of, and so licorice will make anything taste good. So if a lot of times people make teas, they're like, oh, it tastes awful, and that scares people from making it. But if you add one ingredient that you like that tastes really good, and you make an excess of that ingredient, you won't taste the other more medicinal flavors, right? So I've got a bowl here, stainless steel bowl. I'm going to try to measure it out so that I can then adjust it if I don't like how it tastes the next time I make it, right? Oh, and we're using clove. I forgot clove, right? I'm using clove in the throat coat. Yeah. So we need to grind the clove, the black pepper, probably the cinnamon chips. The ginger root is small enough, but the cardamom and the orange all need to be ground. So I'm going to pause us because it can be loud, and I will come back and show you what I have. And I'll tell you the measurements that I did. Okay, we're back. So here is our mixture. You can see it's nicely granulated. There are still some chunks in there. I did kind of try to regrind some of this stuff, but the grinder did have trouble with the licorice root, so I had to kind of do only like 1 or 2 pieces at a time. But the other ingredients I could kind of mix together. So this is the final product of what I did, and I'm going to put it in a mason jar, and I'm going to label it, right? So we know what we made, because come tomorrow I won't remember. And because these have similar ingredients in them, it makes a big mess. So I wish I would have waited to vacuum until I did this, because I didn't. But so I'm making a small batch because I want to make sure I like it, right? So, you know, less than 6 ounces, maybe 4 ounces. So this will be, I don't know, this could be 8 cups of tea. So this is our throat coat. So I'm going to put this to the side and hope I remember that's which one it is. I'm going to move my ingredients over there that I finished with, right? And so next, we're going to make our GI formula. Again, so I just picked from what I had, knowing what I know about what these herbs are good for, but because everybody is unique and different, some things that may work for me may not work for you, right? But because I added multiple different ingredients in here that support respiratory health, soothe the throat, and I kind of used the Yogi throat coat as an inspiration. I did not have the wild cherry bark. I thought I could harvest, but when I researched it, it said if the branches were not freshly cut, it ferments and it's poison. So I was like, oh, we're going to hold off on that. I did not have slippery elm. I do have it in pill formula, but I didn't feel like opening that bottle because they already had marshmallow open. So I was like, oh, they both have the same type of actions. They soothe, right? They're mucousy, so they will soothe that scratchy throat. So I'm using marshmallow. What else did I not have? I think that was it. I think everything else I had. So again, we're going to try it and see how it goes, right? It's just, we already have it. I'm not spending any extra money. I already have it, right? And if I don't like it, I've written it down what I did. So I did do 2 tablespoons of orange peels, 4 cardamom pods, 1 teaspoon of fennel seed, half a teaspoon of black pepper, 1 tablespoon of mullein, probably was like 1.5, half teaspoon of cinnamon chips, 1 tablespoon of marshmallow root, 2 tablespoons of ginger root, 2 tablespoons of licorice root, 1 teaspoon of clove. So you notice that I put the more pungent, strong plants, I put more of them in there. So in case the other plants don't taste good, it will kind of rule it out, like the flavor profile. So now let's do our GI formula. So I'm going to add marshmallow root again because it is known to help GI. So I'm gonna eyeball that. That's about 2 tablespoons. I will try to measure, but again, I'm gonna have to shut this off because it's very loud, and when it jams, it gets louder. So the lemon balm I don't need to grind, so maybe we'll do that, right? So I'm gonna do 3 tablespoons of lemon balm. So I don't know if you can see what I'm doing because the camera is. So I'm doing 3 tablespoons of lemon balm. Because if I move the camera again, it's going to be all cockeyed. So I just did 3 tablespoons of lemon balm. I'm going to write this down so I don't forget. Because I've been known to forget. 3 tablespoons. Okay. I'm going to do, so I did that. I'm going to do some ginger. That needs to be, and the fennel needs to be done. So what we have here, the fennel, so we have a teaspoon left of fennel. So that's been used. A teaspoon of fennel. Let me just write that down. Because if you don't write it down and then you like how it tastes, you're not going to be able to necessarily recreate it. So it's important to write things down. Believe me, I haven't written things down and that's the problem. Okay, so now we've got peppermint. I'm going to do... So peppermint is a cooling plant. So some people they're hot all the time, so peppermint would be great for them, right? And then people who are cold all the time, peppermint is not going to be good for you. So especially like in the winter time, I would not drink peppermint tea. I'm going to drink ginger tea because it's warming, right? So it's understanding the constitution of your body, the constitution of the plant, and what season we're in. So Ayurveda discusses all of this. And also, if you go to a good herbalism program, they'll talk about all the constitutions of the plants, right? So I think we're going to do 2 tablespoons of peppermint. And then we'll do 2 tablespoons of ginger. So it'll be equal. I'm just wondering if I should. You know what? I'm not going to pulverize this. We're going to just do 2 tablespoons of it. I'm going to live on the edge. See how it comes out. So I've got 2 tablespoons here. And now this, because the formulas are in larger quantities, I think that, and I'm going to do catnip. People get weirded out by it, so I always say catmint. It's the same plant. I'm going to do a tablespoon of that, and because I did not break this up when I harvested it, I'm going to put that in the coffee grinder, so please hold. Okay, so now we've got our GI formula. So this is very fennel forward with the smell, and I'm not sure if that's going to go down well. I'll be like, listen, I'll drink whatever. I don't care what it tastes like, but there are other people that I know who will not. And if they have a bellyache, they're not going to drink something that smells this strong. So I'm going to add more lemon balm and more ginger, because lemon balm is also calming. So I'm going to add another tablespoon of lemon balm. So if you're like really upset about having the bellyache, it will help. Oh, I did not write these down. That's not good. All right, I think I did 2, 2, 1. All right. Did I already do 3? So maybe we're now doing 4. I have written down that I did 3. This is why you write things down, folks, because it's hard to remember. And I'm wondering if I should add a little bit more ginger or peppermint. No, I guess this is good. All right, so I'm gonna mix this up. So we've got a little bit more here because, again, like I said, I use larger quantities for some of the ingredients than I did in our throat coat, because GI is more popular than the throat thing. Although I did have a lot of sore throats the last few weeks. It seems a lot of people did. So this is what prompted me to make this rather than going to the store and buying something when I already had most of the ingredients, right? And so here you go. Here's our GI one. So I will make a respiratory one in, I don't know, the next few days, next few weeks. We'll see. We'll see how it goes with what else is going on in my life. So now we've got some GI and we've got some throat coat. And this stuff, there's some of the ingredients in this throat coat is actually good for respiratory, so it's kind of like dual purpose. And again, calming and GI, so again, dual purpose. I'm all about that. Like, if you're going to be in the kitchen, you're going to make a mess, and you're going to take all this stuff out and then have to put it all away, make it worth your while, right? Like, I am kind of lazy in that way, and it's not really being lazy. It's taking the most out of your time in the kitchen, right? So I like being in the kitchen. I like being creative, but I don't like having to clean up a mess. And having a sink full of dishes every day is exhausting. And so that's not where I want to spend my time, right? But if I can do it all at once and make the kitchen messy at once and then clean it all at once and it's done and I have product to show for it, then it's a win-win. So please, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Give me a comment. Let me know if you're going to try one of these. I will put the final ingredients down in the description below. And I hope to see you next time.